Hey, it's Mr. Buro from Staten Island Tech, and I'm going to be doing a demo today in the trim and extend commands that are built into Revit. To get started, I'm going to use the file that I have been using for the last few videos. It's a two-story house with only the first floor that has some stuff in it, and I added a few things to the side, these two wall clusters, as well as a few floors. Okay, let me flip over to the level 1 view, which features no floors in this view. Here you can see the two wall clusters. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at this one, which is the trim and extend corner, which works on walls. There's this one. This is the trim and extend single element, which is just one instance at a time. And then there's the multiple element, which allows you to do multiple instances at a time. Okay, so pay attention to what you see on the screen as I select the trim extend single element command. First, the status bar tells me to select a reference as a trim extend boundary. As I go into this, you can see very slightly, and I'm actually going to turn the color off so you can see it more, is that the boundaries that are selectable are lines. They're not actual objects like walls. So the trim extend command works on not just walls, but other things as well. And in this particular case, I'm showing you that I'm going to selecting a wall face, or really a line inside the program to do the trim or extend. So I'll click here and use this face of the wall. And then once that has been selected, I want to select the part I want to keep. So if I want to keep this part, it'll cut away this part. And as you can see, the dotted line shows you a preview of what will remain. So if I click up here, the bottom part disappears. And then it goes ahead and fixes the wall joint, of course, as well. But now I have nothing selected yet again, so I could pick the trim command. So if I pick over here, and then here, I will keep that particular part. But as you can see, it's kind of an irregular join with this particular command. So perhaps I could undo that and now select the core as the trim source, and then this particular part over here. And as you can see, it made a nice corner here. So the single element trim command is not specialized for walls, but it does do the job that you're expecting it to do every time. I'm going to hit escape and now select the multiple element command. And here I'm going to pick this particular wall. Actually, let me pick the core. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Choose the core. And now with the multiple element command, it pretty much behaves as you'd expect, where I could select, again, the pieces of the walls I want to keep. So if I select here, it'll chop that piece off. If I select here, it'll chop that piece off. And I could even go ahead and select over here if I want to. Like if I click this particular part, it should chop off that corner piece. And then over here if I want to. As you can see, by me doing that, it caused a warning. And if I want to keep what I just did, I'll hit unjoin, where it'll unjoin all the elements. So that's the multiple and single trim command when you're using it as a trim feature. I'm going to undo that to get my position back. Let me come up here now. I'm going to be doing the same commands, except now, without pressing any other buttons, I'm going to use it as an extend. So for instance, if I click here, this face, and then I go ahead and highlight this particular part to extend, it's pretty easy. So I'm going to click here, and it will connect on. I have to reselect the command again. So watch this. I'm going to now select this exterior part of this wall, which is going to be exterior to this particular extension. And as you can see, the extension goes all the way up to where that line was. If I undo that, and then select the core, and then do the extension, it'll go to where the core is. If I select this face, do the extension, it'll go to that interior face, relatively speaking. I could select this face over here, and extend to that particular face. So the extend command is very, very versatile with the single element extension. However, something else that you might want to see is if I choose some unconnected pieces. So if I select to extend to this particular face, I can go ahead and select that wall, and it will go to that edge. If I do multiple extension, hit escape first. I'm picking multiple extension, and this time I'll pick the core. So this particular core is going to be where my multiple extension is going to occur. And I can click here and here, and they join perfectly because there's something to join to. This one's going to look a little weird because it doesn't quite meet up. Let's see what happens. It did actually join it, which is great. But can I do here? Yes, I can, but remember, this is my reference, so look how far out it's going to go to make that extension, which is pretty useless. So, let me undo all that. And now I'll show you the wall trimming, which is known as trim extend to corner. If I go here, in this case, as you can see, it says select the first wall to trim extend. And again, we're clicking the part we want to keep. So if I click here, and then here, you can see a preview with a dotted line. Again, I'll switch to hidden. And then it's going to make a corner from here to there. And it chopped off the part that was here and the part that was here. So a vertical piece and a huge horizontal piece were cut out. Let's do that again. This time I'll pick the left piece here and the upper piece. You can see this bottom vertical was cut and the right horizontal was cut. Now I'll choose instead this piece and this piece. And again, these two will drop out. So it's pretty useful. And again, it's only for creating corners. Look at this. Now, if I want to pick, let's say, this line and this line, I was able to keep this portion, chop this portion, and extend this portion. So it was a mixture of trimming and extending. And again, it has everything to do with where you click to where the extension occurs or the trimming occurs. I don't think I can click two vertical lines. No, see, it doesn't give me that option. But if I do pick a vertical and a horizontal line, I can certainly connect them, such as this one and this one, and then this one and this one. Or if I do it this way, you can see it joined in a different way. I could join these two together. I could join those together, and then it made this connection join as well because it was intersected. So as you can see, this command works very well for making your corner pieces. That's the 3 different trim commands with walls. Now I'm going to flip over to the other level 1 floor plan and take a look at these floor boundaries. Let me go ahead and undo that material. All right. So first let me cut a little piece so I can access this floor. Now I'll click the floor and pick Edit Boundary. As you can see, these pink boundaries occur. And now what I'm going to be doing in sketch mode is I'm going to be working with these particular lines. Now, let's see. I'm going to pick the line command here, snap on to the intersection here, and I'm going to just draw this to that core and then downward. And as you can see now, I have an irregular circuit here. There's an outer part and then an inner part that makes it not necessarily a complete circuit. So I do have to trim part of it out. So if I hit the check button, it'll give me a warning. See, it says lines cannot intersect each other. So I'm going to hit continue. And then instead, I'm just going to use this corner trim and click here and here, and then here and here. Then I'll hit check, and there it is. Let's take a look at this one now. In this particular one, if I go to edit the boundary, I'm going to throw in a whole bunch of lines. And I'll show you multiple trim. So if I click here, and then I start cutting, like, remember, I'm clicking the piece I want to keep. I'll cut that piece, keep this and cut the left, keep this and cut the top. So I've made this particular boundary in here. It's not really a complete circuit though, so it's not going to be able for me to finish. If I hit escape and then pick the extension, or I'll pick the single element trim, pick this, and then extend it back. Then I'll pick this one and extend it back. And I'll pick this one and extend it back. Or I could pick this again and cut here. Or I could pick this and cut there. If I pick the same line and cut here, it does the same thing because remember, this is the line of cut. Now, if I wanted to make this complete, I can go ahead and do a lot of things. I can cut here and here, or I can cut here and here, and then maybe here and here, and then here and here, and here and here, and then I'd have to just delete this particular piece, and then hit the checkbox, and it's complete. There's one more thing I wanted to show you regarding trimming, but not for floors and walls the way I showed you. Instead, I'm going to be able to show you trimming a wall profile to create a custom cutout. So take a look at this. I'm going to basically go into this particular area here, and I'm going to cut some holes into these walls. Let's take a look at it in 3D. That is the front of this particular thing. So I'm going to click on that wall, and again, go to the view where I can see the whole thing. And I'll pick Edit Profile, and as you can see, the pink sketch mode comes up. First thing I'll do is I'm just going to put a rectangular cutout over here. I'll put another small rectangular cutout over here. And I'll use lines to draw what will become a cutout over here. Alright, so let's focus on this one. This is just going to stay the where it is. And this one over here, I want to put a little arch on top. That I really don't have to do any trimming for. I'm just going to delete that line. But if I wanted to, let's say, make a fancy cutout over here, then I can go ahead and use those trims. That's the wall trim. I mean the corner trim, excuse me. So that should be good. And then for this one, I could use the fillet command, but instead I will do the arc again. I'm going to mirror that. And then I will use the trim there. Remember, you click the pieces you want to keep. And one more thing, I need this part cut out. So I'll click the cutting tool and split this element so it's 2 pieces. And then I'll corner tool here and here. So now I do have continuous profiles everywhere. Hit the checkbox. And as you can see, I've created some nice cutouts on those walls. They don't have decorative edges or anything like that. They're just cutouts in the wall itself. Very handy feature when you're trying to make custom shapes for your walls, as long as they don't have to come outward. Just along the same work plane. Try to use it as much as you can. It's definitely a good way to customize things. So that's how you use these 3 trim commands. Again, this one is for mostly using with walls, but it creates a corner every time. The single element command and the multiple element command are the same. They allow further customization, but probably more clicks in what you want to achieve. And I think that's it. So good luck with using your trim commands, and remember that sometimes the most efficient way to do something in any CAD program is not necessarily to make it perfect from the beginning, but to make it done quickly and efficiently by drawing it first and then trimming it. Thank you very much.